So obviously, hair salons and barbershops and all that, they're not open right now, right? And my hair's getting a little ridiculous, right? It's pretty fucking long under here, like pretty bad.
There's a lot of
Not
flow.
looking great. Not great. If you're not on video, sorry, but not great. So I need a haircut. And like there's not much you can do at home to make my hair look good. Because like I like my hair a specific way. But I'm looking and I've got a lot of inspiration, I'd say, from some guys in the league, across the league. And if I decided I was going to mimic a hairstyle, do you think I'd look better with like the Lourdes look or the Francisco Lindor look?
I think I'd much rather you in the Lourdes look.
Right. I don't think I could pull off like the curly.
You've got
Afro
like
thing?
long straight hair, so it
Right.
would work.
It would work.
Yeah,
I
it
could
would work
curl
for
it.
pineapple
I
cut.
could like get it permed, but I guess I can't perm
Right.
it at home, can I?
Right.
I don't really know how
So
that
like,
works.
what is it? 2 weeks ago, I had like a total, Britney moment, and ran to the
Same.
store and bought clippers.
Yeah.
You
See,
know,
but yours
we've
looks
got
nice. I like the way yours turned out. It turned out all right.
It does enough with a hat, but it was
What-
funny. Like my girlfriend and I were just like we powered through it,
Right.
and you cut some here, you cut some there. You're like, wow, that was
Right.
pretty short there. That was close.
See, like I'm good at cutting hair. Like I can cut other people's hair, but I can't see the back of my head and cut at the
No,
same
see,
time. That's
You
very
need somebody
difficult.
for that.
But I
That's
don't really
100%.
trust anyone else with my hair is the thing. It's just like everyone in my household is just like they're good. Like my dad can cut one length well, like he does a good job of that. But if I'm
He does a
looking for a
good one.
fade, it's not really gonna work like that. So I mean, like if I'm looking at Lourdes' haircut,
Yeah.
all I need is a little bit of blue hair dye, and I'm fucking looking great again. I think it'd be an interesting look for the rest of the podcast. I don't think I could pull off the Francisco Lindor gray curly afro with the shaved sides. It's a look. But yeah, there's just lots of options there. Welcome back to the BnB podcast. We are past
We are
opening
concerned
weekend.
about our hair here. We don't.
We
don't
obviously
really
talk about
sports,
more
we talk
important
hair.
things than sports, as shown already. Yeah, welcome back. Opening weekend is come and gone. We are now 5-6 days into the MLB season, and it's been so much fun for 5 days. The Blue Jays are 3-1 now after taking the 3-game set from the Yankees, which round of applause for that one. Hell yes, was the series you love to see. And then they came into Texas with an entire crowd, full 100% capacity, and kicked the living shit out of them 6-2. And yeah, so that's where we're at. They're playing in 40 minutes for us right now, so they're going to be done by the time I get this released. But the Jays have looked great so far. I have a couple of people I want to talk about. First and foremost, I want to mention Marcus Semien has been a ridiculously good pickup for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, he has been absolutely on fire, man. He even said it himself, too, going into Texas. He was more fired up that there were fans there, that it was going to be a full stadium,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, that it was, way more full than the 25% they'd been seeing.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I wanted to play more. Even I think Steven Matz had said it. But yeah, Marcus Semien has looked good, especially, kind of going in at the top of the rotation at the beginning. The top of the batting order at the beginning. And like we said, he's going to be a tone setter for a lot of these young guys, right?
You lost George Springer, and Marcus Semien has fit in so well in that leadoff role. It's like it didn't even really matter that you lost George Springer. Like he's obviously not going to be the leadoff man for the rest of the season. But right now, with 2 home runs already and some ridiculous plays defensively at 2, and just his ability to just set the tone and get on base and do things for everybody else in the lineup. He already has 2 stolen bases. Like the guy's doing it all right now, and that is huge for that 1 year. What was it, $13 or $14 million deal they gave him? Like it's a great.
Was it 18?
Is it 18? Might have
I
been.
thought it was 18,
Right,
maybe.
18.
Yeah, I thought he got some big. I remember being like not shocked at it,
Decent
but it was
money,
like
yeah.
okay, like it was like a 1 year. Like it is a prove it deal, but it's not a prove it deal because with like baseball, it's not like there's like a cap. I have to take my hockey mind off sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, what are you doing?
Yeah, no.
Like 1 year.
18 is just like meh money in MLB.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
no.
like,
Even still, that $18 million has been well worth it this year so far. And watching him through these first 4 games, I'm really happy with what we've seen out of Marcus Semien. He looks more like the guy that played in the playoffs for the A's and not the guy that played all regular season where he kind of struggled a little bit last year. Second guy I want to bring up, Steven Matz, dude. Forget Hyun-Jin Ryu. This is the best pitcher in our rotation.
Just quick though, going back to Simeon, I liked him at second because
Right.
the throw was shorter, and that was I think the one thing that we were saying about his arm is like the power isn't all there. So like moving him, I think over there, like man, he made a great stab. I think in what was it, the first game or one of the games against the Yankees.
Game 1, I think. No, game 2.
Yeah, he just like he made a
that
great
diving
play.
play
Yeah.
saved the inning. Unbelievable. Yeah.
But no, dude, like Steven Matz,
bro.
is looking like a man. Okay, so hope he listened to the podcast and heard my Garrett Cole low and away because he was going low and away.
Dude,
and
he was
loved
carving.
it.
And this is a guy
He had like 8 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts.
9 Ks.
Yeah.
This is a guy that we gave up Sean Reed-Foley for. And at the time, I really like Sean Reed-Foley. I still like him to this day. But I was like, man, why? We gave up a decent bullpen arm for a guy that's just never been anything in the big leagues. And he is taking every single one of my words and shoving them right back down my throat because this guy has been lethal all the way through spring training and just carved apart. Not a very good lineup in Texas, but a decent lineup nonetheless, and just carved them and did his job. Incredible.
It's game 1, man. Like, and for him, and you can like if you can roll off that, and you get a Texas, and maybe you get like a Colorado somewhere, like like if you get certain teams in the right spots, like you don't pitch every single day, right? So if you get the right set, and you're like, oh, I got 3 wins off the hop, my ERA is like ridiculously low, and then all of a sudden you start cruising from there, like. Dude, Steven Matz, I'm not expecting to be the top of this rotation at all, but the fact that he comes in and he fills it, and like Steven Matz goes 5-6, okay,
but maybe
happy.
Like he's been so good throughout the spring training, and then in that start, and it's just like I don't think he's going to continue to be this, but if he's close to this, I was talking about this with a friend of mine. If he keeps that ERA under 4 for the season, you're absolutely laughing. Because you didn't expect that out of this kid. You gave up Sean Reed-Foley for him, who really didn't have a role in this pitching staff. You gave up him and got this guy you could arguably throw in as your 2, maybe 3 starter right now. And then you're going to add in Robbie Ray, and you might add in Nate Pearson in a month. And, like, you've already got this rotation that looks pretty good if Steven Matz is what was supposed to be your 4 guy, has a sub-4 ERA. Like, it's really good to see him doing stuff like that.
Is there any way that Pete Walker could get an award this year for doing what he's doing? Because like he has been asked to take a lot of question marks and a lot of holes and really fill them and just absolutely, and just even holes though with losing certain starters and just saying you know what, he's gonna go there and we're gonna play this way.
TJ Zoik had to come in for Robbie Ray and do his job, and he did a phenomenal job too.
So well, and like even going up against the Yankees, they took that series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's not just bat our eyes at that. Like, that's nothing.
This is a team that a lot of people had pegged as the best team in the AL, and they won the series 2-1. And they had a chance in that second game. They just threw a lot of it away.
They have the Yankees winning the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Some people.
Yep.
Did you just see that they got Rougned Odor or trying to work out a deal?
Have them. You can have all of them. I don't.
Can I say that deal stinks? Is that too soon?
It already sucks. I don't care what they're doing.
There's an odor to it.
Yeah.
There's an odor.
A lot of it. No, that's trash. Have them. You can.
That's
have
awesome. That's good for us.
I would love to see Rougned Odor more times in the year. I'd love to hit the guy a few more times. It's great. Not a good baseball player, but pain in the ass to play against. Honestly, the rotation for all it was cracked up to be and like not be, I guess, it could potentially be a non-issue if everything kind of just falls into place, right? I know I brought it up earlier, but you have Hyun-Jin Ryu, and you expect him to be great every time he's out there. You have Robbie Ray, and I know his consistency is not there, but when he's on, and he looked really good as a Blue Jay last year with Pete Walker's help. So if he's on, he's a great 2. And then if Steven Matz is what he's been, if he's half of what he's been so far, he's a great 3-4. And then you have Nate Pearson coming maybe late or April, early May, which is a little bit of time off. But if that kid can reach his potential, that kid's a bona fide 1-2 on a lot of teams at his peak. And right now he'd be your 4 guy. So then it doesn't matter who you slot in there. You got TJ Zoik, you got Tanner Roark. Who went game 2 for us? I don't even remember who it was now. But there's other names in this rotation that you could throw in there that can do the job and do a decent job of it as a 5 guy.
Another interesting name is Trent Thornton.
Trent Thornton's
like in his recovery back, right? Like, what are we going to get from him? Because he was a starter. Let's not forget that. So he's capable of doing it. And honestly, man, I love the passion he brings for the game, and he's somebody that definitely maybe gets a little. Yeah, he gets maybe a little too upset at himself, but he takes it seriously, and you know that he's going to give you 100% up there. And if he ever figures it out, And who better to help you figure it out than Pete Walker?
Yep.
Right? Like to stick with this team.
Ross Stripling was the other guy.
Right.
Who's
Ross
done
Stripling,
a good job starting in the past.
Right. And one thing about Ross Stripling that they said is he has been this flex player for his whole career. How many times it's, okay, you're in the pen. Okay, no, you're going to be a starter. Okay, you're in the pen. And that's great. We're not saying, Ross Stripling, you're going to be starter 2 for all games, buddy. Good luck. We need you to fill a hole.
No, exactly.
Get in there.
These guys don't have to go out and throw 7 innings a night because you have this bullpen in behind them where you have a guy like Julian Merriweather, who I think is the closer on this team now. I think he's got the stuff to do it. And then you have Jordan Romano, who is my favorite reliever on this team by far, who can go multiple innings if you need. Same with Merriweather, realistically. He can go multiple innings if you need. You have Dolis. You have Ryan Barucki can do a great job in the back end of that pen. They just have all these names that they can work together in the bullpen that they don't need their starters to be going 6 and 7 innings every night. They just need to do enough for the 5, 6 that they're in there to just get the job done and hand it over to this bullpen that I really don't see as an issue for the time being.
No, I think what's good too about especially Romano is he's like such I'm going to go in at any moment, right? Like you could just spring it on him and he's in it. He doesn't care what the situation is. It's always just pretty much him and the batter up there is the way that he's explained it. Mm-hmm. And that's awesome, right? And that's to me why I wouldn't really even want to see him as the closer, because if you're starting to get closer and closer to the game, like he reads games the whole time. He is watching. He's taking on information all the time, right? So if you start looking, okay, it's 4-3, let's say we're moving on. All right, it's close. I'm probably going to go in. Okay, yeah, like he doesn't want that. He wants you to go, hey, kid, let's go. You got 20 pitches, warm up. We got to maybe get you in there because we're going to give this guy the hook.
He's in the bullpen ready to go no matter what inning it is. Mm-hmm. And it's my favorite part about him because he's all around the bullpen. He's warming up. He's just stretching, ready to go. He doesn't care if it's the 9th, 8th, 4th. Like he is going in. Doesn't matter who the batters are. He'll take down Judge. He'll take down all your big-name hitters. It did not matter. He is ready to go. And to have some guy like that who just wants to throw at any point, and if you have a full bullpen of those guys, which it seems like they do right now, you don't need to worry too much about what that starting rotation looks like. And it hasn't been an issue so far. It's really early. I get it.
It's really, really early.
Really early. But from what we've seen in spring training and what we see on that in everybody's first start so far, it's been okay. Now, Tanner Roark goes tonight. That might be a very different story. That he could have already gotten lit up for 6 or 7 by the time you hear this. But we'll hold out judgment on Tanner Roark.
If anything, though, this gives you more buffer time to make a trade and to bring in more pieces or to get healthy or to really figure out what you want, and also to see what everybody else is doing, right? There are going to be teams who thought they were going to be great are going to start selling. There's going to be teams who are going to start moving up the way you are, like you're hoping. So you really got to let it play out, right?
Yeah.
And they're in no rush as it seems right now, and that's good. A 3-1 start is a lot better than a 1-3 start. And hopefully you continue with that.
Yep.
It's the good thing is that it's Texas. I've heard the funniest thing is that it doesn't matter how many fans are in Texas right now. Give it a week, they're gonna leave because the team's shit. They're not gonna want to see them play.
They can open to 100% if they want, but they're not gonna get it.
Everyone's gonna rush in at 40,000 the first game. Oh yeah, awesome, this is great.
We're back.
Fuck, this is the same Texas bullshit team. Like, why are we here? And then
they
still
go do other
can't
play baseball. Who cares?
No.
Yeah,
dude. Like, there's going to be so many things happening. Their football team is about to trade one of the best quarterbacks out of it.
Yeah,
maybe. Or he's about to go to jail. Who knows?
Yeah. They're about to lose him either way.
They're so focused on everything else.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Like, there's too many teams there. It's big. It's big in Texas.
Who cares? Final guy I want to mention, Randal Grichuk. He came into the season arguably as the 4th outfielder. There was talks of when they signed that Michael Brantley contract initially, or when it was reported that they signed it, he was the guy that was going out. He was going to get traded somewhere, and there was no way he was sticking on this roster. And Randal Grichuk has gone out there and done everything he can to be arguably one of the best outfielders in that group right now. He's hitting better than pretty much everyone out there. He's got 2 game-winning hits already, and he's just doing everything he can to stay in that lineup. He plays good defense. He's hitting well. He's kind of forcing Charlie Montoyo's hand to keep him in that lineup, and I really respect the guy for it. I think he's done a fantastic job as being that 4th guy right now.
I love Ross Atkins too, like standing up and defending the contract, standing up and defending keeping him, and saying, "Look, we understand that we have 4 guys, and you only need 3 out there, but we're going to have 4 talented guys who are going to compete every single game to stay in this lineup, and that's exactly what we want, right? Right now, George Springer being injured,
it's the greatest thing that ever happened to Randal Grichuk.
That's going to happen. They've prepared for that. If you have every guy there rolling at the same time, your team must be drinking Jordan's special drink.
Yeah,
because
you're not getting 162 out of your entire team ever.
There's no way that you're all going to be healthy. So it's perfect. And Grichuk's picked up right where he left off last year, right?
Yeah.
It was worrying to see the contract and to see the money given out to him, especially because nobody gave him that confidence. And yet here the Jays are saying, look, we know what we have. And he's going to do well, and he did it last year, and I feel like people didn't even give him any credit for it because, Teoscar decided to out-pimp him.
He was the MVP of the team all of a sudden.
And now you're seeing it, though, and also, behind Vlad and Bo and Cavan, there's so many names, but there's Randal Grichuk always there, staying in the lineup, RBIs, clutch hits, good defense, He's
doing everything right now.
Yeah, he's not going to Kevin Pillar save a play, but you know what? He's going to make it good throw.
He's good enough. He's even as a center fielder, he's good enough to be your everyday center fielder. And I think the combination
you and I have seen him
play. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you and I have seen him play. How many times more than Kevin Pillar? It didn't make a difference because especially when you're in Rogers Center, man, that ball goes. He's not catching. He's not saving it.
There's not a lot of room to cover out there. It's fine.
No.
The combination of his great play and Vlad's work at first, he's been good enough at first. He's been arguably exactly what Rowdy's going to bring you anyways. And then Rowdy struggling at the plate. It's just opened up this opportunity that you can just rotate in those 4 outfielders at that DH spot. And he's kind of just won that job right now. And I feel bad for Rowdy Tellez in this whole situation, but he's kind of just losing his job based on the fact that he got off to this ridiculously slow start. Now, things can change. Randal Grichuk has shown that he can be really hot at times and really cold at others. So at any given time, this could flip completely and Rowdy could steal that job right back. But to me, when George Springer comes back in game 1 of that home series this week, I think you're either throwing Teoscar at the DH slot or you're throwing Lourdes at the DH spot, and you're putting Randal Grichuk in the outfield with the George Springer and Lourdes or Teoscar combo. I think it's the best lineup you can put together right now.
Absolutely. It's kind of Grichuk's spot to lose.
Yeah.
And Rowdy's also, he's 26 years old, right? And he's still figuring out the game from a sense that he got off to a good start hitting bombs. Then they figured out, I can't remember, is that he can't hit, fastballs, or he can't hit anything Rowdy that moves. Yeah, he has problems hitting one or the other, but I can't remember what it was. Basically, they were throwing him something, crushing it, and they threw him everything else.
Adjusting, but
right, and that's what it is. And now this is your third kind of year in the big leagues, and this is where you make the adjustment to show us who you're going to be, right? Mm-hmm. Are you going to be the hitter that comes in, or are you just going to be the guy that has all this big bat and can't find it if the ball's not exactly where he wants it?
Yeah.
And that's fine, though, and that's what the Jays have given themselves now. We don't need Rowdy Tellez to be there.
Nope.
Rowdy Tellez can go realistically AAA, and we'd be like, okay, man, I get that, but
it's so deep that Rowdy Tellez is going to find himself off of this roster, despite the fact that he was one of our better hitters down the stretch last year. It's just even Grich, coming into this year, Grichuk was our 3-4 hitter last year, and there were talks of him not even being in the lineup this year. It's incredible the depth of what's happened so far. They've gotten off to a bit of a slow start, but it's still there, and it's crazy.
The Jays are going to be that team too that draws interest from players on shit teams looking to make that playoff push.
Yep.
Because why not the Jays? They're going to have the team to do it, especially if you're in the pitching. If you're in the pitching industry, you're looking at this team I can make an impact.
I can win a World Series over there if we get a couple
guys. This is where I come in. Their offense is talented enough. If they keep going the way they're going, they're going to show that it's talented enough. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to come in. What's great is there's no pressure on the pitching because within the first 2 innings, it's 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. They're just up. Yeah. And if you continue that, then what does the pitching have to do? They come in there. The game's already good.
Yeah. No,
it's a lot easier pitching.
The one thing I don't think gets talked out. The one thing I don't think gets talked about is the.
Let's talk it out.
The amount of work that gets put in from this current Blue Jays lineup and how they've progressed every single year. Every single player that's in this roster right now has gotten better every year they play, and they make adjustments and they battle hard and they do everything they can to try and put themselves in a better position for the next season. And you've seen everybody progress at different levels every single season to the point where Teoscar went out last year and could have won the MVP award if it weren't for a bunch of really great performances from some other guys. And Lourdes I think he came close to the Silver Slugger. He won a Gold Glove despite the fact that he isn't a very good outfielder. And like you have guys like Bo who steps it up every single season. He's progressively getting better. Cavan changes his game every week and just like is able to do things that a lot of people can't. Vlad is otherworldly this year and is hitting better than anyone in the league almost, just with his patience and his ability to see the ball. Like he looks like a professional hitter again.
Dude, his speed can like good on you, man. Not only is your bat speed look quicker, everything just looks quicker. Even you running look quicker.
Defensively, awesome. He looks quicker. Like he's moving side to side better. Like this is what I mean.
He understands where to be better too. You know, he's almost figured out positionally that if the ball's here, my best spot is to be here now, right? And he doesn't look awkward when he's going to catch it. He looks like almost like a natural first baseman.
Yeah,
like he's starting to look that way.
He put in the work on both sides of the ball, and he looks great. Then they all have, man. Every one of the guys in this core have put in the work to make themselves better every single year. And I think that's the one thing that the outside media doesn't really talk about is because, like, this team, yeah, they were good last year, and everyone's kind of looking at them like, oh, that was an off year. But, like, these guys are continuing to do that every single season, and you can see the trajectory of where they're going. And by the end of this year, like, you're looking at a team full of professional hitters that are just getting the job done and continuing to get better throughout the season. It's just they're a great lineup. It's fun.
I think it carries a lot of weight, too, with – if you look at a lot of their last names, they carry – a lot of legacy behind it, right?
Yeah.
There is some big dads that come and watch these games, and to come into this
they want to live up to their parents' legacy. Like you have two Hall of Famers.
Do that again. Yes, absolutely. And that can't just go without being like there's pressure to that.
You're absolutely
trying to succeed in that.
You don't want to be worse than your dad at anything you do. Like, especially as a professional athlete, you're like, you know what? I can be better than that guy because I came up in a different time.
Especially like from Vlad Guerrero, like Senior was one of probably the most interesting hitters, let's say. Interesting players. Interesting players in general, you know, and that is what it was, is that he somehow found a way to not look great at the sport, but just be great.
Just hitting balls off the ground and doing things that nobody else did. Absolute hose in the outfield and just ridiculous all over. Yeah.
Somehow he just had a ball trail of wherever it was going, and he just knew, you know, his icon always lit up. It's going here. Swing whenever. You're good.
It's crazy.
Good.
And this is the guy that Vlad has to live up to. So he's going to try and do everything he can to try and be better than that, which is phenomenal. They're good. I love the work they put in. Teams look great. Hopefully they get a win here tonight. Who knows? We touched on it a little bit with Texas's 100% capacity. What do you think of it? Do you think they're doing the right thing? Do you think they're kind of stupid about the whole thing?
The Texas thing, I just, you know, I've kind of always thought sports has an interesting place among this right now. And, you know, it hasn't really taken away, I guess, in the sense that, like, they're not getting special treatment for, you know, doing this. Like, they still have to, if they get sick, they quarantine for this many days. You know, you can lose opportunities based off of that. Like, there's still things that happen, and they still take the same risk as you know, anybody else going to work.
Yeah. Well, the Nationals, right? The same idea right there.
Right. And I get that, you know, Texas is one of those places that just says, like, we're going to open up. And, you know, it's on you, realistically, as the people. And, you know, you still get the opportunity. I saw Didi wearing a mask in the game. Like, you
they still have that option if they want.
And if you want to do that, like, you're to me, you're a grown man. Like, go ahead, do it. And, you know, it's just, like I said, like, I'm neither here nor there. I'm really happy that, you know, Simeon and Matz said we stepped up a lot more because of this. Like, this hyped us up because there's so many fans now. It didn't matter that we weren't even in our home building. Like, we want to see fans.
Yeah, I think I don't want to get into a political discussion on it. I mean, wherever you want to sit on masks and opening and all that stuff, it's not really, it's here nor there. But if you're open in Texas, I feel like you have to open the ball diamonds at that point. Because, like, if you're letting people in, realistically, you're not really putting the safety of players at risk if you do it right. And I feel like the players don't feel like they were at risk. I don't think any of them are coming out going, yeah, we don't want to play here because of the 100% capacity. Like, I don't think anyone's actually coming out and saying that. So realistically, like, whether you agree with it or not, I think it's the right move to make if Texas is open. I don't think you should just be opening it everywhere because, you know what, we just want to have fans in the building. But they've already committed to doing this. Their cases are honestly going down, which is good. And
I think there's some places even in Europe who have opened up for their, like, football matches. You know, like, they've opened up to some sort of capacity, which is which is okay. Like it's kind of
we're the
at
only
your
ones
own
that are
will,
behind
right?
here.
But dude, like, how can we say, hey, you can't gather in a sporting center, but you can go to the mall? Like, how can you say that, right? Like,
Yep.
what's the difference? Or you can go to you know, to certain areas that are just it doesn't matter. You know, it's either you're open or you're closed.
I don't know. We're just backwards here. We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
No,
how
we
are
just
you,
keep
Doug?
going in circles. It feels like I'm caught in one of those doors, like Elf. And
Yeah.
I'm just running around, like, just screaming. Ah! Yeah, and like, you know,
That's
I'm
literally
dizzy.
That's life.
I know I'm dizzy, but I can't get out. It just doesn't let me.
You know, no, there's someone there blocking me every time I try to step out of the damn thing. It's
I
just
think I'm gonna throw up, but I'm not. I don't know why. I'm just
because I have this mask. It's just
yeah.
it's frustrating, man. It's brutal. Anyways, back to baseball, the more fun stuff. You took the Angels to go to the World Series, am I wrong? You did,
I
right?
think I did.
They're fun. They're a lot of
They're
fun.
a fun team.
They lost today, but
That's okay.
they are
Losses are gonna happen in baseball. I've learned that.
Yeah, they're up before today. They were 3-1 when trailing after 7 innings.
The boys.
They played 4 games and they were 3-1 when trailing after 7 innings. That's insane. Like they played 5 games at that point because they had one.
They have no pitching, just for starters. Like that's
Dylan Bundy's
showing.
all they got, and he's like, okay, he does a decent job.
Yeah. What do they call him? They call him King Bundy.
He's
like, why?
They're a hitter. They can hit, and that's about it. Except for today, when the only thing they had was the Mike Trout home run. But they're just kind of fun to watch, and like just their offensive approach is great. They went into a series against the White Sox, and that was my pick. And the White Sox kind of got shut down a little bit, just a little bit.
They got pumped.
Yeah, a little bit.
All the clutch moments kind of just went to the Angels.
Yeah, except for the fact that Raisel Iglesias decided that he didn't want to win the one game in 9 innings, so he decided to hum the ball 40 feet over Buddy's head. He wanted to see a walk-off win that day because Matt Walsh stepped up and whoo, absolute pimp job. I loved every second of it. It was so cool. Great game. Great series between the two of them. I think it's going to be a lot of fun down the stretch this year. It's going to be
I love how he knew and like nobody else really, like, you know, some people did, but a lot of people were like, is that thing?
I thought he was out. I thought it was a
No,
flyout.
He pimped it. He pimped it.
The way he pimped it, though, like it looked like he was pissed off. Like it was like an angry pimp job, and that he was going to walk back to the bench.
I think it was the way that the bat, like the at bat went though. Like I think he kind of was like just pissed that, you know, I think he was getting some pitches that were bugging him, and he just was like, oh my god, one of those like, I can't believe I just got that, but I'm so angry still.
He just murdered it, dude. He murdered that.
Yeah, it was great.
Robert almost had it, but like it's still a great home run. It was fun to watch. It was a really good series. I've watched so much baseball in the last few days.
Oh, I have a feeling that you've just been.
I have my laptop going like double screen, and then I throw it on the TV too, and I've got like 3 games going at once.
I watch all the highlights, to be honest with you. The highlights give me the basics, you know.
Yeah, the highlights might have shown you some bad news out of San Diego last night when Fernando Tatis Jr. had his first at bat of the night and swung so hard that he pulled out his shoulder. I think it's subluxation. I don't exactly know how to pronounce it because.
Can you spell it for me without looking at it?
Give me a second.
I'd love to hear that.
Shoulder subluxation. That's what it is. I was right. Subluxation, which is essentially just.
Without looking at it, I can see you looking at it right now.
Throwing out his shoulder basically because he swung so hard. Which, for starters, ow. Imagine swinging so hard your shoulder pops out.
They throw these fancy big words at it. You know, like I like the word contusion because it just is a bruise.
It's a bruise.
But we can't say bruise. Like
you sound weak if it's a bruise, so it's a contusion.
He's got a muscle contusion. Oh, so he's got a bruise. Okay, that sucks.
Yeah. So
welcome to life.
Tatis isn't really known for how long it's going to be right now, but it's going to be a while apparently, which is absolutely terrible news for the San Diego Padres and absolutely terrible news for Fernando Tatis, man. The guy just can't manage to stay healthy. Like he just.
You know what though? They're really built for this. I know it sucks.
They are deep as shit. They got Hae-Sung Kim coming in to fill in for him, and that was this prize guy that came over from Japan or Korea.
Yep.
And it's just they're deep. They'll be okay, but this is not a guy you want to lose at any capacity. This is still one of the best players in baseball.
He especially after signing that contract. It's almost funny though, man. Like how many times does that happen? Big money deal, injury. Big money deal, injury. Like that's just. Yeah, it sucks to see.
Give it 10 minutes, and we'll just keep an eye on Lindor just in case.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. He'll be gone. He'll snap a femur or something.
Yeah, that's not that. Other news: Cody Bellinger, like literally 20 minutes later, was pulling into first. I don't know if he's actually gonna be out any bit of time, but he had to be removed from the game, and it didn't look pretty. Like it was a real awkward looking step on the bag that he had. I don't know if there's any update. Day to day. So he ended up injuring his foot. And you really hate to see the Cody Bellinger one because at least the Tatis one, it was early in the game and he was trying to get something done. Bellinger and the Dodgers were up 9-1 at the time. And you really don't want to see one of your better players going down with an injury, especially if it ended up being serious. Up 9-1 on a race to first base. Like, it's rough. It was not pretty to watch for Cody Bellinger. Luckily, he avoided major injury, which is good. But, like, you hate to see those plays on something so stupid.
Oh, yeah. So I was editing the old dog, actually, like the Cody Bellinger one, and I was like, oh, why are we talking about the hit again? I was like, didn't we already talk about the home run where you got robbed back? Like, I was like, I thought we did, right? And then I realized, because it happened again, like, Tapia pulled two back, like where he lost it, though, an inside the park home run against the Dodgers.
Really?
Yeah, in like the next game, I think, or maybe even in that game. Yeah, they hit it over and he pulls it back in, but then he loses it as he's pulling it, and the guy's still rounding the bases, and he gets an inside the park home run.
That's so
weird.
I
just laugh so hard because it's him again that like doesn't.
Poor guy just can't figure it out at the wall. He's just scared of the wall.
He makes this athletic jump, and then that's it. His glove is just it was so. I was like, oh my god.
For all the baseball I watched, I didn't even see that. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, look it up.
One final little fun bit from the MLB came yesterday when the Astros played the Angels, and this guy brought in a big inflatable trash can and he threw it on the field because why not? I actually saw a TikTok of the guy that did it and like the way they created it. It was like a Busch can that's like an inflatable. I think it was Busch. It was a beer, anyways. And they like took off the actual Busch part of it, so it was just gray, and then they just painted the lines to make it look like a trash can. Ton of respect for that move. That's hilarious. I love it.
That's a brand move right there.
The question I want to, I would do it. It's fun. I don't know if I would because if you get kicked out, you're kicked out for good, and I don't want to do that. So, anyways, the question I want to ask: have the Astros gone through enough to the point where we should just let them be them this year? Because I saw someone bring up that point, and I would like to hear your opinion.
I think I saw their manager even say that too. Like, let us be now.
No,
which is
personally,
I think it's funny.
You guys didn't face shit.
Wear it. As long as you have the majority of the core there, then I think you should face the music still. Once they all disband, then for sure. But you lost George Springer.
Yeah, I would
not
be upset if George Springer gets booed in his at-bats. I understand. I still get why you wouldn't like George Springer if you're not a Blue Jays fan. But I have to like him because he's a Blue Jay and he's just a really good guy.
And
I understand it.
Million here, so.
Yeah, we have to like him. There's no choice here.
I have 160 million reasons why I got to like him.
Yeah, but I don't think – yes, the Astros already played a season. They didn't play a full season for starters, and they played it without a single fan in the crowd. They played, two series where they had fans in?
If you can't face this, don't cheat then.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You got caught. You didn't face the music. You faced a couple fastballs to the ribs. I don't think guys should be hitting them anymore, personally. But you have not faced your dues from the fans yet. Like everywhere you go, you should be booed relentlessly.
Do you think Tom Brady has ever stopped hearing about his deflated balls?
No. Or Spygate.
No. Right. It doesn't matter. You hear about it still. It just doesn't matter. It'll keep coming up.
No. Yep. Agreed.
So
I don't think you're anywhere near being done with the Houston Astros. I don't think they deserve to be done with. I don't think they've faced their dues yet. Nobody got suspended. Nobody really faced any repercussion except for A.J. Hinch, and I think that's still garbage. I feel bad for that guy because nobody else faced a damn thing. Everyone else is back in baseball, and they didn't.
I'm going to consider bringing a trash can. I don't care.
Nick Castellanos got suspended more games for flexing at a dude than anyone in the Astros did.
Did you see any of that?
Oh, it was phenomenal.
Oh,
I loved it.
God.
I put it
on what's funny
Instagram
about Nick Castellanos. That's what I mean. Though. Like I know that you've seen it, but like, did you watch it all? Like
the
I
the
watched every
home
little
run
bit.
with the wicked pimp job and just like
Oh,
fired up.
man.
Nick
You know what's
Castellanos
funny?
is just he's baseball. He's so much
He
fun.
looks like you and me, you know. He
Yeah,
just looks like he's like, I'm up to
yeah,
bat.
just
That's cool. I could maybe hit this thing over there, but
and he
he just goes,
crushes.
no, I can crush this thing.
He's like you and I if we had talent. It's just
If we had a
murder a
swing,
baseball. I'm like, oh, let's
yeah.
go. It's great.
If
And
I
then he
looked
wears
good
one in the
when I
hip.
struck out,
Wears
if
one
I
in the
looked
hip.
good when I
I'd be
struck out, yeah, absolutely.
I'd be pissed off too if I wore it the way he wore it. Like he had no reason to wear that pitch.
No.
And then I would probably do the same thing if the same idiot just threw a wild pitch and I got to slide in front of him and be safe. I'd flex on him too. He didn't hit him. He didn't go at him. He just flexed at him and walked away. The only one that should have been suspended in the whole thing was Yadier Molina for starting the whole fucking thing. Like if you're, I love Yadi, but if you're Yadier Molina, you have no reason to get in there. You're not defending a guy that just threw a 90-something mile an hour pitch at the dude because he decided to flex back at him. Didn't hit him, didn't do anything, showed him up, sure. He deserved it. He earned every bit of that. I lost a bit of respect for Yadi on that one. I get why he did it.
I think you're defending your team. Like it's the same
Sure,
thing, kind of like
I get why he did it, but
in a way,
I think he should have been suspended just as easily as Castellanos.
it's weird in a way though, because like baseball and hockey equivalent, like the goalie and the pitcher are like the untouchables. You know, like it's not even like the catcher. It's like you protect your pitcher, right? Out of all things, which is why I never get why the bullpen comes running out like they're gonna do something because they're just like, don't hit my arms, no arms, no arms. Nobody touch your arms.
Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me.
Yeah. No, don't pull there, don't pull there. That's gonna hurt. It could be a strain.
Yeah.
Like you know,
Well, it's really funny. It's really funny when you break it down to the core, because you have guys like Joe Kelly last year who got suspended for not hitting a guy, but nearly hitting a guy and then making a face at him. And then you have Nick Castellanos this year who gets suspended 3 games for flexing at a dude. But you don't have any Astros getting suspended for literally cheating the entire game to win a World Series. Right. And it just makes so much sense, right?
You didn't see the buzzer, so
Little slap on the wrist and away we go.
Yeah. He ran far enough down the hallway. You didn't see the buzzer.
Yeah. Fuck. Brutal. Hate it. Yeah, I think that's it from baseball. Do you have anything I missed?
Don't think so.
We didn't really talk about the Nationals. I don't know who's out for them. That's the only reason I didn't bring it up.
I know that Brad Hand was one of them. I remember the list. Let me see if I can find it quick. The list was
I know Patrick Corbin for sure because I have him on my fantasy team. He's on the list.
Yeah, the list was pretty intense. However, Juan Soto just provided a walk-off hit.
Did he?
So that's good. Yeah,
nice.
So that's good.
Nice.
Let me look at who else was there. Apparently, I didn't want to read the document. I just wanted to read the headline. I'm a headliner, guys. I read the headline and then I move on.
Honestly, I kind of did the same thing. Like I know that they have COVID. I know something's happening there, but I don't know what.
But like Brad Hand was somebody that they brought in. So it's Corbin, Hand, and Bell as well. So pretty much all their two of their newest additions.
Yeah, that's tough.
Patrick Corbin.
Oh, Josh Bell. Oh, yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, Josh Bell. Yeah, with Alex Avila, Jan Gomes, Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, Kyle Schwarber, and John Lester. And Will Harris had right hand inflammation, so he's on the 10-day deal with their IL with them.
That's wild.
He joined right in. Yeah,
obviously, it sucks for the Nats. I mean, there's a lot worse they could have lost, obviously, on that team. Soto's still there. Scherzer's still there. Strasburg's still there. Trey Turner's still there. Like, they have their big names. And they won, so it's fine.
Yeah, they did. 6-5 against the Braves. Good for them.
Yeah, so that's good. Before we move on to hockey.
Dude, sorry. I just realized the Braves are 0-4. Can we...
Yeah, they're not a great start. They're fine. The team's pretty young. I think they'll be okay.
Baltimore is currently leading the division. So
Baltimore's great, dude. Baltimore's great.
World's upside down right now.
The Red Sox suck. The Rays suck. But Baltimore, baby. It's going to be a Baltimore Blue Jays.
If you look right now, it's Baltimore, Kansas City, and Houston are all leading their division. Good for that.
Crazy. So hockey's in a bit of a pickle, I guess we'll say. There's been COVID issues throughout the year, obviously, and a lot of teams have been shut down for a little bit of time. Vancouver, however, very new, very big issue. They are up to 22 members of the team now, including 17 players, I believe, 17 or 18 players. And we're not talking like just the regular ass COVID. They've got some new variant that's like apparently very not good. So bad that they've had to have team doctors come over to some players' houses and administer IV just so they can get enough fluids to like stay awake and stay healthy and stay not dying. Essentially, is what's going on there. It's horrible because it's spreading to their families and it's spreading to everyone within the organization. And I don't even know if it's done spreading yet. It's obviously terrible news out of Vancouver. And hockey aside, like who fucking cares about the rest of the season for these guys? But just pure health wise, it's really rough to see out of a good group of human beings in the Vancouver Canucks.
Absolutely, yeah, that's real tough too. It bothers me like a lot of what I've seen driving home and stuff. Are like, oh, this is all a hoax, and this is like that's not fake.
No,
that shit's as real as it gets. The fact that they are having team doctors fly over and hooking IVs up to them, like you're trying to tell me that these guys would buy into some hoax and put everybody through the ringer of, oh, this is just actually a joke. We're sitting at home doing nothing. No, they're going through this, and this is incredibly like a scary time for the NHL for sure.
Yeah,
because this is something they've never dealt with before, and you don't know how far it goes, right? You said to their family and stuff like that, but how far is it still branching out, right?
Brandon Sutter had a baby not that long ago, and he said he's worried about the health of his child right now because he's not sure like what to do there. It's
right.
It's like it's not even a hockey issue at this point. It's just so worrisome for these players and their families and just the health of these people on the team. It's scary to see. Yeah, something you hate to see. You know what you like to see, though? The Toronto Maple Leafs getting another win last night against the Calgary Flames. Calgary Flames suck, I would just like to point out. I hate every single part of Darryl Sutter, and I don't want to see that man coach ever again.
I don't think they're going to make any push to the playoff anymore.
No, they're garbage. The team sucks.
Buried.
They've got an offensive-minded team trying to play defense. You're not going to win games. Like, it's the wrong coach for that job, man. It's just...
Thank you, Calgary, for making me eat my words and continuing to fail again, because you really have the opportunity to do something here. You had, arguably the best offseason goalie signing.
Dude, Jacob Markstrom is a Vezina candidate almost every single year. And
you stole the guts out of Vancouver and the heart out of it, and then you just said, we're just going to shit on it.
Yeah.
We're just going to burn it. We don't even care. That's how much we hate Vancouver. We're just going to burn it in front of you.
You know what?
We're going to go down with you.
It couldn't have happened to any better team right now, though. Like, a lot of teams right now, like that I don't like, it's mostly because of their fans and just like the obnoxiousness of them. I'm not going to bring up the Oilers because we already know. But like Calgary, I don't hate their fans. Like the Calgary Flames fans are fine. Like their group of fans are respectable. They're good. But there's some guys on that Calgary team that deserve every single second of this. Obviously, Matt Tkachuk is one of them.
When did they like being those bad boys of the North Division? Like
was it Rasmus Anderson that just like tried to steal the puck from what's his name?
He claimed he didn't know. Yeah, the Ottawa goalie.
Brutal. And then
you know what's funny though? Tkachuk, like Matt Tkachuk flips it away after, and Brady's the one chasing it, and he turns at him, and then they just don't say anything. And that's the moment was like, Brady, it doesn't matter that he's your brother. He's against you, and they're stand up for your team.
If that's anyone else, Brady's fucking in his face, but because it's Matt, nothing happened. On top of that, you watched on Andrew Mangiapane last night. He got tripped. Like, no one's going to bring this up because it just wasn't really that big of a play. He straight up two-handed Zach Hyman in the face. And, like, I might be a little bit biased because I'm a Leaf fan, but I'm watching that play, and he gets tripped. He turns, looks, sees that it's Hyman. His stick doesn't touch the ice, and he goes upwards with it and hits Hyman in the face. I'm like, that's not a play that you're going to get suspended for. You're not going to get fined for it. But that's just one of those scummy things that you do if you're just one of those rat type of guys. And I'm like, you know what? I'm glad you guys keep losing. If you're going to keep having this type of salty little baby attitude, you deserve every single one of these losses. And I hope Darryl Sutter bag skates you every single time you step on that ice because you're trash. Hate it.
We said this, though, man. We said that it was going to be real chippy games, especially as it got closer to playoff times. And, teams that are in, teams that aren't in, it's just they got nothing to lose now. That's almost what they're feeling like. It doesn't matter.
They got Milan Lucic and his rectangular schnoz out there. Slewfoot,
love it.
TJ Brody.
Yeah.
I hope they lose. I hope they lose out.
They had problems with Sam Bennett there, too.
Yeah. They
He
treat
didn't
him like
want to be
crap.
there anymore.
Yeah. No. There's no other team that deserves this more than the Calgary Flames, which is shocking because like there's a lot of teams in the league. But yeah, back to the only team that actually matters here. Jack Campbell,
Ouch.
dude. Jack Campbell
Hurt.
apparently is the best goalie in franchise history now. I said it. 9 wins in a row. Franchise record, 9 wins in a row for Jack Campbell.
Do you think that puts him up for the Vezina or?
No. I love Jack Campbell with all my heart, but he has not played near enough. His numbers, dude, if he did this for 56 games, I'd be running the train for Jack Campbell.
Here's the thing I'm going to say is that Robin Leonard and Thomas Greiss won splitting it. Right. So technically, Jack Campbell's splitting time could just say
he's played 9 games
right now.
If he finishes out the year and he's still got a 940 with like a 1.7 goals against or whatever it is, you know what? Maybe give him his due. Like put him in the race. I don't know if he wins it because Vezina is still crushing it in Tampa, and Marc-Andre Fleury is just leading Vegas somehow. I don't understand. So those two guys are probably the head. But, I mean, Jack Campbell could be considered if he plays out the rest of the year. I don't think he's top 3, even if he does, personally. But what he's doing for the what he's doing for the Toronto Maple Leafs is crazy.
You are. Yeah, I wanted to see
if Jack Campbell never got hurt and this is what he was all year, I'd be riding the train. But because he got hurt and he's really not, like, he's not even really playing back-to-back games now.
The redemption story, man.
Huge.
Great.
Incredible.
Hutch sucks. I'm sorry to say.
He's been fine. He's been so fine. Like
you can play Calgary. It's not fine.
But Hutch is not the goalie that runs your team ever. Never once. But he's done everything to just go in there and do what he has to do. Outside of the Ottawa game where he sucked, he's done everything he needs to do.
I now understand why Colorado got pumped that playoff round, that they had Michael Hutchinson as their goalie because
they won with him. They won a game with Michael Hutchinson.
Did you win a series?
No. God, this is what I mean. He's not the guy that wins you games, but he'll step in there and do what he has to.
He won't even be the AHL starter to a championship team. Like he's not.
I don't know what his AHL numbers are.
No.
He's okay. He's good enough to be the third string goalie and step in once a month and just try not to give up 5 goals. That's what he's
David
really
Ayers. Get the emergency goalies going. You have a way better shot at winning games with that.
In fairness to Hutch won them that game against Calgary. He shut it down. He was great. The offense couldn't really get anything going, and Hutch just decided, you know what, I got this. He's fine.
You know who won that game for them? Austin Matthews won that game.
You know why?
Austin Matthews stepped in and showed his manhood to everybody.
Matthews is back.
He is
back.
He is showing you why he deserves to be in that McDavid conversation. He is showing you why he deserves to be literally like his play where he not only reads Marner, but then goes, I'm going to step around the defender, throw my stick down right now, and boom, in the net, gone.
See, the thing with Matthews,
he made Hannafin look like he wasn't even there.
The last few games he scored, but like he didn't have that patented Matthews goal. Last night he just ripped that one past Markstrom. I'm like, he's back. He's scoring 50 again. I don't care. He's back. Just incredible goal scorer. That little move he does between the legs on Markstrom. I'm just like, this guy is Hart Trophy candidate in a full season where he doesn't get hurt. Not a doubt in my mind. If his wrist was still intact all year, he'd be right with McDavid for that award.
He is special. Him and Marner together are incredible special. I'm so glad that's worked out the way that the Leafs envisioned from day one.
I'm going to clip that, by the way, and get yelled at by every Oilers fan on the planet. I'm so excited.
Why?
Because we just tried to put Matthews in the same conversation with McDavid there, and they don't like that. They hate it, and I love it.
Tell me why he's not, though. What about his game isn't there? He is a first overall pick.
Hey, buddy, you are preaching to the choir here. I agree. I think you're right.
He's shown his ability to
I know.
Score. No, okay, I'm not saying he is McDavid.
I know. Trust me. I know, and I understand that. But you know who doesn't seem to understand that? Anyone that puts an Edmonton Oilers jersey on and cheers for them. Because they just can't get over the fact that we don't think Connor McDavid is the best thing that's ever touched the planet. And I think McDavid's still the best player. Second best.
You know what happened when the Leafs got their franchise player? They went out and got a team around him.
Yeah.
You know what Edmonton did?
Forgot to do that. They got Mike Smith.
They said we got him. That's good.
Oh my
That's
God.
good.
Like,
They signed Milan Lucic, and then they said, shit, that was bad. Let's trade him. James Neal. Okay, that's kind of worse, too. Zach Cassian. Yeah, that's the trick. That'll do it. No.
see, the problem here is I just take these clips and I take the part where we say that Matthews is with McDavid, but people aren't coming in to listen to the podcast because they're angry at us.
There's no
So they don't hear the part after the fact where we're like, hey, we still think McDavid's great, but you don't need to know that because unless you want to listen to our podcast, you're not getting the rationale.
I'm just saying, Austin Matthews deserves some respect on that name.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's stepping up.
Absolutely.
He's growing as a player, so that's it. Don't come at me with that McDavid.
Oh, you're fine.
Jesus nonsense.
You're good. You just sit and relax. You just say things, and I'll just deal with it online. It's so much more fun. Nobody ever yells at us on Instagram. Instagram is the most wholesome place to say stupid things because everyone's just like, I love our Instagram followers. I love our TikTok followers. I just like to point that out too.
I like that people are like, I see your point. However, here's what I think. And it's like,
awesome
conversation.
Awesome. There's a guy in Leafs Twitter. His name is, I think it's Bill's Beanie at some point. I don't know his exact name. But I don't know. It's something to do with Bill's Beanie. I can look it up. But I've really liked this guy on Twitter for a while, and he has a TikTok, and I've seen him pop across my feed a bunch of times. Like, yeah, he's a pretty smart dude. He commented on it, and he just said, stop that. And I'm like, you know what? I like your stuff, but I'm not going to war over this. And we had like the most wholesome conversation about it. I'm like, that is great. I'm like, this is the reactions I want from people. I don't want Edmonton fans talking about how I don't know what I'm talking about in the game and I don't know this and I don't know that. I'm like, you're wrong, dude. Like, just be friendly about it. I will have a conversation with anyone every single day of the week. I'm probably not going to agree with you, but I'll have the conversation. But yeah, it's just fun. I love all our followers on all the social media sites. They're great. And if you listen to us, thank you for listening to us. It's great.
Even the friends, man, that reach out after podcasts, that's still, we appreciate you. The day ones.
Yeah, we respect the hell out of you guys. If you're actually supporting us, we love it. Thank you.
We wouldn't be here without you. We wouldn't be.
I know my own family doesn't support me, so thank you for being more supportive about this than my own family. Respect that.
You are our family.
We're all one big family now. All however many hundreds of us. Yeah, I think that's it in hockey. There's nothing else, right? I didn't miss anything. So I have NFL news. And I have NFL news about one of our teams for the first time in podcast history.
I think I messaged you about this first before anything that you had said. I just didn't lay any comments before to what you said. I was like, nope, skip our past conversation. This is way more important.
No idea how to feel. But the Carolina Panthers acquired Sam Darnold for a 6th this year and a 2nd and a 4th next year, I think it is. Something like that. Could be a 2nd and a 6th next year and a 4th this year. I don't know. A combination of 3 draft picks that are a 2nd, 4th, and 6th. So, yeah. I don't know, man. I was obviously hoping for Deshaun Watson until it came out that Deshaun Watson probably going to jail. Or at least probably not going to play in the NFL next season, and I'm not interested in having that on my team, and I'm not interested with dealing with that. And I feel like the Panthers probably did the same thing because they checked in on him, and then they stopped checking in on him. And apparently the rumor is that they started calling the Jets as soon as they went to Justin Fields' pro day, where he was like training and doing drills and stuff. And as soon as they went there, they called the Jets that day. So obviously they're looking at this draft class going, you know what, there's nobody here that's any better than what we can get out of Sam Darnold. I don't know if I agree with that point, but I think Sam Darnold has had an unfair shake in New York, given the fact that they gave him absolutely nothing except for ghosts, because he saw ghosts. I really don't know, honestly. I don't know what Sam Darnold's going to be in Carolina. He's got better receivers and arguably the best running back in the NFL. I'll fight you on that every day. But he's still not a very good quarterback. So I don't know.
I think I'm worried whenever a young quarterback comes out and says that he's seeing ghosts.
Yeah.
I understand, you were in a New York system, especially you're in a New York system where Tom Brady ruled that division for how long, and then, Josh Allen in Buffalo, their rise, and
Miami, been the worst team in the division for 5 years.
There's always just been a rise, and then you made the Le'Veon Bell move that never worked out, and it was bad move after bad move. And
everyone they trade out gets better too, and that's
like, let's not forget he was pretty high draft pick.
Yeah.
right? Like he deserves
third overall, Sam Darnold.
to have right. He was part of that Baker draft, was he not? Like it went Baker and then
yeah, I think so, right?
Baker, Saquon, and then him. He was the third after those two guys.
Like, let's not forget how young Sam Darnold still is. He's 23. He's 6 months younger than Joe Burrow, which I think is nuts. Like, this is a guy that could still learn how to be a quarterback. Personally, I just don't know if it's a thing. I haven't seen enough out of Sam Darnold to be like, yeah, he's definitely significantly better than Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater wasn't good either. But I don't know if Sam Darnold's the guy we come in for 3 years and go, yep, that's our guy.
So I've heard they've also given Teddy Bridgewater the chance to seek a trade.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
Teddy Bridgewater is also making $20 million, so I don't know who's
right. I don't think that anyone's going to hop on that, let's say. But maybe, Minnesota's having problems with their quarterback, so who knows, right? There's no guarantees in the NFL is what I've learned.
No.
But right now you're drafting 8. And to me, there's still some interesting quarterbacks. Like there was at least, like 3 or 4 names thrown out there outside of Trevor Lawrence. Like Trevor Lawrence is obviously the one. They've said Trevor Lawrence is the one. Like that's the direction we're heading in. So after that, though,
he's the guy.
It kind of opens up. Yeah, and you're early enough where, teams have moved up for sure to get their guys, but you could be left with not a bad option at all.
They're going to get someone decent, whether it's a quarterback or not. I think you're likely to get a quarterback.
I don't think they need to now, though. I think this is their Sam Darnold, the 23-year-old quarterback. Now we can get something else, right? And Teddy can stay.
I wouldn't hate taking a shot at Justin Fields. If he's there, if he's still on the board, man, you take the best player available if you're the Panthers, because they need help defensively, but I still think you take the best player available if that's the option.
I think the issue as well is that San Fran is being dumb right now, and they are going to select a quarterback without giving up their quarterback yet. I think that is what's going to happen, is that they are going to not get rid of Jimmy G and just say, we're taking one of the, what's his name? Zach Wilson, I think, is another one, and then Justin Fields, or even like Trey Lance.
So just for fun, this one mock draft I went to, I don't actually know who put it together, but it's on NFL.com. They have Trevor Lawrence 1, then Zach Wilson, who's a quarterback 2, Mac Jones from Alabama 3, Trey Lance.
Forgot about Mac
Jones. Justin Fields would be the 5th ranked quarterback in this thing, and they have him going 7th to Detroit. I don't know if Detroit's looking for a quarterback personally, but I don't know, man. Like, there's going to be a quarterback that falls to them, is my point here.
Detroit doesn't look for a quarterback because if you listen to their coach, he is fucking defense first. He is, we're going to just be a grind. Like, none of those quarterbacks fit, really. I get it. You take like you said, you take the best available player, but there are so many question marks and so many things that, San Fran doesn't need a quarterback. Cincinnati doesn't technically need one because they just drafted one, and Atlanta, same deal, right? Matt Ryan is still there. Like, you could get somebody if it falls that way, right?
Yeah, like if
Miami still has Tua. Like, it's weird, right?
Yeah. So Jacksonville needs a quarterback. That's guaranteed.
Jacksonville's
going to be Trevor Lawrence. It's no other thing.
Why would it not be?
The Jets definitely need a quarterback now. The Niners don't really need a quarterback, but it seems like they're going to take a quarterback. The Falcons don't really need a quarterback, but it also seems like they're looking to shop Matt Ryan, so I think they're going for a quarterback. The Bengals don't need a quarterback. The Dolphins shouldn't need a quarterback, I don't think, unless they're trying to shop Tua, which it seems like they were for a bit.
But if you were going to shop Tua, to me, wouldn't you have already shopped him for Deshaun Watson? Unless you know that this
I feel like that was the only
pipe.
option. Was if you're shopping Tua, there's no point in just drafting another quarterback because it's the same project either way. So I don't think they're looking for a quarterback.
He's been in the league how long?
Yeah,
you gave him the starting job from Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like that says a lot. If you're going to take the starting job from Fitzpatrick, the placeholder QB,
bingo. Then Detroit. I don't think they'd be looking for a quarterback replacement for Jared Goff already, but it's possible. Who knows?
It's a weird move to give up all that.
I guess you're probably not going to try and draft a quarterback if you're Carolina. All the good ones are going. The only option I think would be Justin Fields dropping to them. And I don't know if they're interested in that. Man, Devontae Smith's on the board. It'd be great if we didn't already have 5 wide receivers.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a strange move for your team, right? I think the Panthers have lost a lot of their defensive identity, especially with
They're
Luke Kuechly.
so young, dude. So
I know,
young, and
and
that
when
defense
Luke
is just
Kuechly decided to
no.
leave, I think that was a real gut punch, right? All your wind had been taken out of you guys, and then it was like we're just young, and Luke Kuechly was able to read the defense if he had the playbook sitting in front of him.
He was incredible.
He could read
I
offense
missed that
as
guy.
if they were telling him what
I
it
missed
was.
that guy with every fiber of my being. He was so good.
Right. But he was so smart that he saw this game was going to kill him, and then he just said, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if Luke Kuechly comes back as some sort of coach or something.
Oh, dude, he's one of the smartest linebackers there's ever been.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's it for sports. We haven't really done a game in like 2 weeks, so we're starting back over. We're going to play a little Would You Rather one more time here. Not going to do too many of them because the Jays game's already started. I'm already missing it, and I'm just starting to get depressed just minute by minute here. Just
Why? What's the score already?
I don't know.
I didn't know that it started.
I haven't actually looked. I just know it started at 8.
I had no idea that it started.
Oh, we're already up 1-0. How are you? It's only the first.
Bo Bichette hit a home run.
I missed Bo's homer.
Yeah.
God damn. All right, let's
To
fly
center
through
field.
this. Let's do 6 of these. What do you think? 6 of them? I want
Sure.
6 good ones, though. I'm not going to.
All right. You're the ultimate decider, so I'll have the pitch by pitch going on right now, okay?
All right, that's the spirit. We're back to the silhouettes on MLB.com. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? Okay. Would you rather have an unattractive child or have a beautiful child with bright blue skin? So they're like a beautiful Smurf or a beautiful Avatar character.
Sure. I don't care if you're blue, red, pink.
You're gonna get made fun of either way, I think. Oh, it straight up says you would be the same shade as a Smurf and you can't cover it.
That's okay.
Cool with you being a Smurf?
Yeah, I mean, you're blue.
If you're a good-looking Smurf, I think you're gonna make money off of that. But if you're an ugly-ass human being, it's really hard to make money off. You have to be talented at something at that point.
Yeah, those conventions, they're gonna go crazy for you.
Yeah.
Your Halloween is set every year.
You're a Smurf every year, or you could be an Avatar. I'm trying to think of what else is blue. What else is double?
I'm blue. Dabba-dee, dabba-die. That's it. You're just that. Right?
Yeah, I think we've done that.
You could be a blue M&M. You could be anything. Blue crayon.
Some of these suck. Oh, this is a good one. Would you rather listen to only Broadway musical songs or listen to only Christmas music?
Broadway musical. I hate Christmas music.
Thank
my gosh.
I wasn't sure if we were going to disagree on that. Christmas music is good for a week.
November 1st, there's a station that decides it is an appropriate time that we are going to play Christmas music.
CHFI does it, right?
Yeah. I hate it.
It's awful.
I hate it.
It's awful.
Go away.
It was in October this year. I'm like, what are we doing? There's so many. I can't handle the same 8 songs for 3 months.
You know what I do want? I do want a Sweeney Todd breakout Broadway show. Absolutely. Lion King, bring it on.
Have you ever seen The Greatest Showman?
I want to. I have not yet.
Incredible.
It's good. I heard that was a pretty good role for Hugh Jackman.
I've seen it so many times. The what do you call it? The soundtrack.
Was it Greatest Showman?
Elite. Oh, I'm not even afraid to admit that.
1-1 game. Nate Lowe. 2-1 actually. Sorry, Nate Lowe. Homers to center. Yeah, 2-run shot.
Okay.
That was fun. Thanks, Tanner Rourke.
Yeah.
Well, there goes our Tanner Rourke. So we can actually say
we're actually going to redo the bit on Tanner Rourke.
And he is awful. I'm so worried about tonight. That's what
this rotation has a lot of holes. I'm actually really worried for what's going to.
Tanner Rourke is going to be an abomination to this record, and that's it.
What the shit?
That's
actually, you know what? This is actually kind of an interesting one. While watching TV, would you rather the audio 2 seconds earlier than the video, or the video 2 seconds earlier than the audio?
TV's off.
I hate this. So we have a sound bar, and when we had it connected to the old TV, it would disconnect so often that there's always a delay in the audio. And my parents never did anything about it when they were watching, but I had to every time I went in, I had to replug it because it just pissed me the hell off.
I think I'd rather the video first and then hear the audio because I just relay that to some movies and stuff and all the kung fu whistles and all those things.
I can watch sports with the delayed audio. That's not a problem. But like anytime someone's talking and their mouth's moving, you're like, what the hell?
You know what I don't
Hate
like
that.
too? If in sports, if you hear like the crack of the bat first before anything happens, then you're like, what the shit? I don't want to know.
He hasn't even
The 2
thrown it yet.
seconds, the 2 seconds matter, okay?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. What do we got here? Oh, no.
No.
Not a lot of good ones today. I'm going to be honest.
Raptors are losing too. This is a bad sports.
Oh, the
Toronto
Raptors
had a good
losing?
sports night last night.
Yeah,
Toronto had a
3-for-3.
really
We didn't really mention that. Oh,
Right
dude,
now
we
they're
didn't
down
talk about
40.
Gary Trent Jr. How sick was that shot?
Do you know what the greatest
you know
thing
what?
about him is?
We're tangenting
Is that-
because I actually want to talk about this.
Okay, so the greatest thing about him,
Yeah.
the day that he was traded to the Raptors,
Yeah.
his dad, I don't know how many years earlier, was also traded
Yeah,
from
I
Portland
said this. It
Trailblazers.
was,
That's what I mean. Like,
I brought
it's
that up.
incredible.
I brought that up on the
It's
podcast.
so incredible. Like
Yeah,
that is the
unbelievable.
best.
It was,
Now he's hitting shots.
I
D
think
player.
it was 81 games into their career in their third NBA season or something like that, or 41 games.
He is
something like that.
everything that Terrence Ross should have been for this team.
Man.
The
it was-
3
yeah,
D
dude.
tenacity.
It's almost like I said it jokingly to my buddy last night, and I said, like, I don't even really miss Norm because if this is what Gary Trent is, I don't really miss Norm because he's good. And like
What's your miss?
my favorite part of this buzzer beater last night, I don't know who it was on defense. I don't care to learn his name because I don't really care. Whoever the hell it was that thought he was defending him and went for the biggest flop of all time after Gary Trent literally just touched his chest and he snaps his head back and falls like 8 feet out of the way. You, sir, are the reason that you lost that game. Because all you had to do was play defense and not act like a fucking fool, and you probably would have had a much more contested shot than Gary Trent got. And instead, you decided to flop around like you're playing soccer and got no call and got angry about it. Legitimately went at the refs after the game and was screaming at them because you didn't get the call because you flopped 14 feet. You're lucky you don't get a fucking fine after that one. That was a joke.
He wants the comment. You got to sell it to the fullest degree.
That's brutal. They weren't even close. Like, they were running down the court together. Gary Trent had his hand on him, and the guy goes, "Good!" Snaps his head back.
Oh,
and got punched in the face. Oh,
Yeah, what is he? He's number 19 or something.
I
I'm
don't
looking at
even
it
know.
now. It's
I don't
awful.
even know.
That was bad. He fell. He threw
it's
himself.
brutal. He jumped, like,
Or like a
flew
baby.
backwards.
They are losing right now. I think 59-31 to the Lakers after
That's okay.
not even the second yet. So yeah, we're already down 60
Plenty of time.
before half. Yeah, plenty of time.
That's what I was thinking. I've been looking this whole time, and it's not working.
I know that's great. Quick congrats to the Baylor Bears.
Oh, yes. I don't know
For
how we made it
winning
this far without mentioning that, too.
breaking the streak.
That's so garbage for Gonzaga. I feel really bad.
I'm such a Zags fan through and through. It sucks. Like, I love the Zags. I don't know why. I just, like, I knew someone that was there.
Yeah.
It's like it's a
They're
homer
cool.
thing.
Like, it's a cool logo and stuff. And, like,
Absolutely.
they go undefeated until the national championship and just get dominated by Baylor, too. It wasn't even a good game. We turned it on for, like, 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, there's way too many other things on right now.
Especially when there were so many Toronto games going on. I was like, gone. I was like, I'm sorry.
This is 2 days after they hit the coolest shot I've ever seen. Maybe second because the other one that Villanova had. But, like, that OT winner with Jalen Suggs coming up the court and hitting that, like, that was unbelievable.
you hear what the coach said? The coach afterwards says he does that all the time in practice. Like, I wasn't even worried. It was like I knew that he was going to make it. It sucked.
It was such a cool game, too, because UCLA was great. And they brought it to overtime, and, like, they hit that shot with 3 seconds left, and you're like, wow, good job. It might go to double overtime. And Jalen Suggs is like, no. Half court, here we go, bang. And just
nobody really guarded him either, though. Like, everybody just gave him space.
Terrible.
Same as the Villanova shot. Like, people just backed off and were like, if a shooter's got space, he's going to hit that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just while you're looking there.
Just
I can have more fillers.
Just really disappointing. Just really disappointing for Gonzaga. I feel bad.
I got another filler if you want.
Let's go with this one first, and then we can fill it when I'm still looking next time. Would you rather be credited with the invention of the wheel or be credited with the invention of the internet?
Oh, the wheel.
The wheel?
Dude, everybody uses the wheel.
Yeah. Everybody
The wheel's
uses the
essential.
internet at this point.
It's fine.
The internet runs a lot of things nowadays, man.
It is essential for the wheel.
I feel like the guy that
be
invented
around.
the internet is probably made a little bit more money than the guy that invented the wheel.
It's not about the money.
I'm about the money. I am
I know
selfish.
you are. That's what these questions are. That's what all these questions are.
It's the same
You're
answer.
selfish, you're
We're
selfish.
essentially
Exactly.
doing the same question in different ways on this
There's a
show.
reason why you wear blue, I wear red. You know, we don't match. It's just you're just opposites.
All right, here's one that we both have to be selfish about. Would you rather have an incredibly nice car or own a personal helicopter?
Personal helicopter.
Yep.
I would fly that thing
Kidding me?
everywhere.
Yeah.
Fuck
I'd
yeah.
be flying into work, landing on the roof. Why not?
Yeah.
Sure.
I would go fly into the old golf course I worked at because it's like, why not? Because you could. Just be like, yeah, I'm one of those guys. I flew in.
Yeah. I think this can be our last one. I think we've done enough
All
here. If you had a mutation of your choice, would you rather have an extra limb or an extra eyeball?
Do I get one on each side, or it's literally just
one? Just one. You
Like,
get
I
a
just
third-
have
you get a
one like
third
kind of
limb.
in the middle of it.
You get a third limb. Let's just say,
Is
it can be
like-
wherever you want.
No.
So the extra eye could also be wherever you want. I'm putting the extra eye here if I get it. But I think personally, if I'm doing this, I probably want the extra limb.
I'm getting the extra limb.
I feel like I'd be more useful with an extra limb.
I think I can't say where I want it because I need to strategize where it's going to be most useful. I haven't looked into that, but
Would you put it in
I
the
want
center?
extra limb.
Unless it was
No,
leg.
because what are you going to grab? I guess I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I could do with the extra. Like, what do I need most of? Maybe I'd put it if it's in the center. It's going to be bent like this. You know,
I can like hold things and like if I'm using my phone or something, I could still do.
I get
things
the
with my
elbow
other
too.
hands.
Is it just to the shoulder? How far up does it go?
You get the whole
All the
limb,
way?
the whole limb. So I think you get a full arm coming out of your chest.
Is it
Why
a
not?
right hand or left hand? Well, that kind of changes things.
I
too.
don't know. Can it be like a dual hand? You get thumbs coming out both sides. That'd be kind of cool.
I would take it in the middle. Then I guess.
It doesn't really say.
Sure.
It doesn't. We don't have really limitations on what our extra limb looks like.
Take the hand.
Yeah. Final
Does-
question.
Unless the leg helps me run faster.
I don't know
If I
if,
can get an extra leg to help me run faster. then-
That's true. That would help. I don't know if you've ever been asked this before. It's a rare question around these parts. Has to do with
Not very
baseball
questions.
because opening
Doesn't-
weekend just happened and it's
We
pretty.
actually
revealing.
never talk baseball. We
No,
never talk
not
baseball,
often.
so-
But this question is baseball centric, and I just want to know: would you rather play for the Red Sox or for the Yankees?
So after this series, I was really like watching the Yankees, and I was just,
Yeah.
watching the team, and I was looking at those pinstripes, and I was looking at that Garrett Cole and that DJ LeMahieu,
Just
that Aaron
Great
Judge,
lineup, incredible lineup.
Stanton, and I just
Yeah.
thought, I want to burn this shit to the ground.
Yep.
I don't want it at all.
See now, I was watching this incredible lineup, and they're such a good team. And I was also watching the Red Sox get swept by the Orioles and just get embarrassed by arguably the worst team in the MLB. But then I also watched the Yankees game, and I watched some jackass up the first baseline try and rip a ball out of Aaron Judge's glove. And I decided there's no way in hell I'd ever want to play for the goddamn Yankees. Give me the Red Sox, even if we lost 162 games in the year. Fuck that. Fuck the New York fans, man. They're trash. Trash.
I'd rather be a Red Sox
Yeah.
than a Yankee.
Yep. Thank you for listening once again. We appreciate it. We'll catch you sometime later this week. As always, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the BnB pod _ and on TikTok at the BnB podcast. Feel free to argue with me. It's fun.
Subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff down below. More content and merch. You can check out theasports.com. All of this will be linked in the description below. We will catch you later this week. Have yourself a good one.